What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with us. Thank y'all for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Can we just kind of like make this my say whatever it is that I want to say channel? How's my audio? Matter of fact, now that we on it. Is my audio good? Is my audio good? We good on the audio? Let me know how my audio is. My audio is good, Brian. You said, am I getting sick? No. Why would I be getting sick? I sound like I'm getting sick? Shh. Can we just like make this like the fun channel? I want this to be the fun channel, and I want all of the rest of the channels to be the whatever channel. Is that fair? Do y'all agree with that, or do y'all disagree with that, or do y'all want me to keep it corporate? I really want this to be the no pressure channel. You know what I'm saying? I want this to be the you say whatever on everything though. That's fair. Well, let me tell you why. Because over the next few months, I've been in negotiation with a lot of these different companies for sponsorships and stuff like that. And I don't want to lose myself. I don't want to lose myself. So I almost want to put like safeguards in place to ensure that I don't lose myself. I want to make sure that I stay authentic, that I stay real, and we can corporatize some of this other stuff. Like we can corporatize Room 9, we can corporatize Anton Daniels. We could even the vlog is the vlog. Like that's just always gonna be like my daily life. But I need somewhere to kick back and get my thoughts off authentically. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my thing. I just kind of look at this channel as us kicking it with my family, me giving you my thoughts. This is almost like my streaming channel. I don't have nowhere else to stream at. You know, I can kick it with y'all for the next 2 to 3 hours pretty much every day, and I could just slow motion with y'all. Make another channel? Nah. If I made another channel, it would have to be purpose driven. It would have to be some technology, automotive. It would have to be something like that. It is the chill channel, Jason 18, but I just never officially said anything like that. And so I just kind of want to keep it moving. Again, let me know if the audio is right. Let me know if the audio is right, and then we're going to get it popping. Is our audio perfect? Because last few days, actually, the audio, when I went back and I looked at it, the audio has been a little loud, and I just want to make sure that it's cool. All right, cool, cool, cool. What y'all doing for Thanksgiving? I know Thanksgiving is in a couple days. Some people were asking me if I'm streaming on Thanksgiving, and I absolutely am streaming on Thanksgiving. I always stream on the holidays, so that's not even a question. What y'all got up for Thanksgiving? What y'all got up for the holidays before we get into the show? Love you guys, but the name changes at work is too much. What name changes? Cooking at home with my wife, chilling, OT, cool. What up, Purple Haze? You going to New Orleans? What's in New Orleans? Eating nothing special. At home with the family, not on Christmas 24, you rested. Gonna ruffle some family feathers. Making a lot of food with the sister, ready for the Lions Packers. That's a fact. That's gonna be big. Chilling. Nothing planned. Alone. Live streaming on Thanksgiving. Shout out to Tropical Empress doing whatever you want to do anytime you ain't missed yet. I like you. I like the authentic you. You have earned the right to have fun. Good morning, chat. I'm into it with a lot of family. I might take myself out to eat, to be honest. Go kick it with the family. Say what up to the family. Son coming home from A&M. Word, word, word. Let me ask y'all what y'all thoughts are. I got a lot of I'm doing some interviews that I'm planning for starting next year. And then like I'm going to be interviewing people and then I gotta go on some other people's platform. I know a lot of y'all may be familiar with certain people's platforms. What do y'all think about No Jumper? What do y'all think about No Jumper? I get a lot of people and a lot of platforms that ask me to come out. No Jumper reached out to me. Um, was it yesterday or was it the day before yesterday? Adam from Adam 22 reached out and said, "Can you come on a platform?" Dame said, "Hell yeah, go on there." Don't do it. Nope. Why would I go? Not a fan of them, but I'll watch you go on it. No good. Brain rot. Expand the brand, bro. Have no opinion. Don't do it. Doesn't align with what you do. It won't hurt for real. For real. Don't do it. Check the air tags before you leave. Oh, why are y'all telling me don't do it? Why are y'all saying don't do it? This is why I know y'all not business minded. Oh, your car. Listen, listen. I'm not worried about nobody setting me up. You know how I move, bro. I keep a whole crew of security on me. I don't worry about that. So you know I move with the Secret Service. Y'all know everywhere I go, I got the Secret Service with me. I don't know what y'all talking about. I think it's gonna be a great opportunity. I said I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. And because I look at everything as business. They may have a segment of the audience that need to come over and kick it with Anton from AntonDaniels.com. Why wouldn't I go on No Jumper? They got over 5 million subscribers on the platform. I'm absolutely gonna go. I'm absolutely gonna go. 100% I'm gonna go. Why wouldn't I go? Absolutely. I want all of the exposure. Of course I'm gonna go. Why wouldn't I go? Yeah, I'm going. Facts. I don't know what y'all talking about. I thought that y'all would have a different perspective. Yeah, Anton, go and expand your reach. Go and tap into a new audience. Make sure you go and do this and do that, so on and so forth. I don't. Why wouldn't I? Yeah, I'm going. 100% I'm going. I'm a businessman. I've been. Y'all know this. Y'all know this. Y'all know this. Anton from AntonDaniels.com is going. I think that they have a decent exposure to amount of people, and yes, I'm gonna go 100%. 100% I'm going. Y'all don't mess with them. That's cool. Y'all don't have to. All y'all got to do is come and mess with me. That's what I want y'all to do, to focus on me. I go where people don't expect for me to go. I don't want to just go to the familiar platforms. Y'all already know me. Y'all need to learn how to share me. That's the problem. Y'all selfish. Y'all selfish. Y'all, oh, I see it. I see it now. All my people. Listen, y'all. I'm not gonna leave y'all. I ain't going nowhere. I'm always love y'all. Listen, I'm gonna tell you the same way that I tell my chick. Just because I'm leaving don't mean I'm not coming back home. I'm always coming home to you, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming home to you. But I gotta go and spread the gospel. The gospel needs to be spread no matter what. The gospel needs to be spread no matter what. We need to draw in souls. We need to make sure that we take care of people. We need to open up the minds of people that may be closed-minded. And we need to go and expand our brand. Why wouldn't I go? I'm coming home to you. Y'all are the main chick, Brian. Don't delete your comment. What you mean I had to delete my comment because I was typing and you started talking wild? What are you talking about? Adam let another man bust down his wife on camera. What does that? That don't have nothing to do with me. I'm trying to figure out what does that have to do with me? What does what another man do with his chick has to do with me expressing what it is that we're trying to spread across the globe? What are we doing? What are we doing? This is my home right here. I'm always coming home to my people. Always listen. We can't be selfish. We can't be selfish. It's somebody that needs to get it. It's some people. Some people. We need to expand our audience. All right. Never thought you'd be referred to as the main chick. Yeah, when you're married, that's not. What do you mean it's not okay? So wait a minute. You're not supposed to work. You're not supposed to spread the gospel. You're not supposed to hit the streets. You're not supposed to take care of other people just because you're married? What kind of selfishness is this? Listen. The one thing that I know, and two things is this, is that anybody that has somebody that they're in a relationship with productive, you got to share them with the world. You got to share their talents. You got to share their skill set. You have to share their reach. You got to do all of that. You can't keep that great man contained for yourself. You can't. You got to share him with the world. That's the way that it is. You got to share him with the world. Oh, you talking about somebody else? You said, yeah, okay. I wasn't talking about Anton. All right, no worries. All right, y'all. But y'all ready to get into the show? I just want to respect the name, Mr. Anton Daniels. You want them to respect the name, Mr. Anton Daniels? Well, then that means I got to go and do my thing. That means I got to go work. That means I got to go take care of business. If you want them to respect the name, then that means that we got to go and spread the gospel. We got to spread the gospel of the chasers. All right. 20,000 chasers ain't enough. We need more. 20,000 chasers is not enough. We need more. That's a fact. Cause change gonna come. It's been a long. Ooh, we got more. Mo. Let's see what's happening in these streets. Shout out to the chasers. I can't believe that we got so many chasers that love what we do. I can't believe that we got so many chasers that love what we do. Shout out to the chasers. Shout out to the 20,000 plus chasers that's in the building. We are officially at 20,036 members. So shout out to the chasers. We're actually doing a live stream tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we are going to be doing a live Patreon. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right. Y'all ready to get started with the show? First thing that I want to get started with is this. Because y'all know that it's been a. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this up. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me pull this up. I seen this video, and it came right after another video, and so I wanted to share with you guys really quickly. Let's see if I can get it up. See if I can get it up. Let me share my screen with you guys. Share screen. All right, this is what I want to start off with.
Given this push to Black boys to not worry about college and just get a trade. Why is it an either or situation when it comes to Black children? Why can't they do both? Nobody tells white kids or wealthy kids to just get a trade and not worry about college. But all of a sudden, when it comes to Black children, college is unnecessary. College is a scam, and their only option is to go into labor. Yes, there are honorable, high paying trades that are essential. However, when you get these trades and you're out there and you're in competition with other people for those leadership roles, 9 times out of 10, they're going to give it to the person that is college educated. Telling our boys to only get trades is not empowerment, it's limitation. All of it should be on the table. The issue isn't education, the issue is lack of opportunity, lack of resources, lack of exposure, lack of representation for Black boys. And we don't fix that by removing college altogether. There's this wave and this push.
So, what this woman is basically saying, and I don't know if y'all heard that clearly or whatever, right? But what this woman is saying is she does not like the narrative. You like this, Keisha? She does like the narrative that they are pushing Black boys and Black children into trades. All right. I'm going to play it one more time. Because I want to make sure that everybody that's getting in caught it. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. I'm going to read super chats and cash apps as we go along. All right. I'm going to play it one more time, and then we're going to go from there.
To Black boys to not worry about college and just get a trade. Why is it an either or situation when it comes to Black children? Why can't they do both? Nobody tells white kids or wealthy kids to just get a trade and not worry about college. But all of a sudden, when it comes to Black children, college is unnecessary. College is a scam, and their only option is to go into labor. Yes, there are honorable, high paying trades that are essential. However, when you get these trades and you're out there and you're in competition with other people for those leadership roles, 9 times out of 10, they're going to give it to the person that is college educated. Telling our boys to only get trades is not empowerment, it's limitation. All of it should be on the table. The issue isn't education, the issue is lack of opportunity, lack of resources, lack of exposure, lack of representation for Black boys. And we don't fix that by removing college altogether. There's this wave.
All right, so let's have a conversation about it. All right. A lot of y'all are saying she doesn't know what she's talking about. Cap, unhealthy, chick, stay in your lane. I see what she's saying, but things are changing. I have to disagree because I teach at a mostly black A B school. The females want to be nurses and doctors. Some of the men want to go to trade schools because they don't want the debt. She don't know about trade money. They say chick looking into race, looking too much into race. It's bigger than that now. Class warfare is ongoing. Cap, majority of the builders of society are white men who have trades. What is she talking about? Trade schools are good. She don't know what she's talking about. Oh, this lady forcing her son to go to college. I think it depends on the degree that you get. My dad said trade. My mom my dad said trade. My mom said college. Azriel says side note, because colleges and universities have lesser enrollment, it's easier to get accepted if you apply. Just choose a worthwhile major. All right, well, let's have a conversation. I'm gonna give you all my opinion. This is why I like including, and one of the things that's beautiful about this show is that I'm very inclusive as far as understanding that you guys are my co-hosts. Keisha says she's right, AD. Including you guys as my co-hosts on the show. All right. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop the link in the chat, and I'm not going to pull y'all up as far as like visibility, but I am going to allow for you guys. I'm going to take 3 people. All right. Certain subjects, we're going to remix the show a little bit. I'm going to take 3 people. I'm going to give y'all a minute and a half to 2 minutes to express your thoughts, and then I'm kicking you back down. So anybody that has an opinion on this, I'm going to allow for you to come up and say your piece and then dip. You're not going to be on camera, any of that, all right? I want to start getting y'all thoughts. You don't have to get on camera. I'm not going to bring y'all up on camera. I just dropped the link in the chat. If anybody has an opinion on trades versus college based off of what this woman said, let me know. Come on up. Give me your thoughts. I'm going to give y'all a minute and a half to 2 minutes to get your thoughts off, okay? All right, I'm picking first three that come up. I'm going to give y'all your thoughts. Kaylin. Can you hear me, Kaylin? Kaylin, are you there? Can you hear me?
What's good, AD? How you doing, bro?
What's going on? Turn your
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Can you hear me?
Turn your YouTube down and only listen to me through the link.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Turn your YouTube down and only. All right, you dipped. All right, I'm gonna go with P. Vincent. P.
Hi, Anton. How are you?
I'm doing well. Can you give me your thoughts on this? What do you think about trades versus college?
Oh, absolutely. So I don't want to be on screen, but I appreciate the opportunity. Yes, I do think that African American. Are we talking about just children or African American children?
Well, she was talking about Black boys in particular.
Okay, so I'll speak to Black boys. I absolutely do believe that they should go into the trade program, and here's why. I'm in a professional degree. I'm an attorney. So I've had extensive education. The level of I think that the tides have shifted. In other words, I think that it's more long term, the longevity of being able to be resourceful and be able to work with your hands. I cannot over or understate the importance of that. My father drove a garbage truck to actually put me through law school. And so it's nothing to be ashamed of. There's so many trades out there that right now, like welders, for example, some of these trades actually, if you excel and you do well and you learn the trade, you can open your own business and you get to the point where you're making the six figures. And I think that we've lost that concept as a community. There's no such thing as if it's lawful work. I don't believe that there's anything that we should be ashamed of. And I don't think that we should be ashamed of telling our sons how to be able to work with their hands, have a very strong work ethic, be resourceful, and to actually go into areas where the market is. Now, of course, if they are going to go to school, they have to go debt-free, okay? And they have to go into a STEM program: science, technology, engineering, math. That's it. Any other degree is worthless. I will say that again. Any other degree is worthless because there's so much you can do right now, even in Chat GPT. You can Google and say, what should I do if I run into the back of someone's car? And it can really give you some helpful information to kind of shoot you in the right way. Or what if I'm experiencing these symptoms? You can kind of figure out on your own, at least generally, and you take that information to your medical provider. I know personally that in the hospital industry right now, that they are downsizing hospitals and that doctors who are specialists are being let go. I know this for a fact. So just because you're a professional and you're doing all these different things, I think that you need to look at it in terms of your next generation, how to best prepare them for the market that is here already. I think that trades is the way to go. So thank you. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Did you say something? Well,
Perfect. I appreciate you.
No problem. Take care.
I appreciate you. Thank you, P.
Right, bye-bye.
I'm gonna get two more people and then I'm gonna clear out the back. I'm gonna go back to Kaylin. Kaylin, can you hear me?
What's up, bro? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Give me your thoughts in less than 2 minutes.
I got you, brother. First, I appreciate you, my brother. You're a beast. So personally, big thing is independence. As an entrepreneur, I'm not necessarily in the trades, but I did build my skill set in sales, and it's been very profitable. My wife, stay-at-home mom, she actually messaged me this morning saying that if I wasn't an entrepreneur, we wouldn't even be able to afford the lifestyle we have. I have no debt. My income continues to grow as my skill set of being independent continues to increase. So I really think the way to go is to, go into the trades for independence as well as income growth potential. So
I'm with you. I appreciate you, Kevin. Thank you for tapping in, bro.
All right, brother.
I'm gonna go with one more. I'm gonna go with Graham Lynch, and then I'm gonna get y'all integrated into the show. We're gonna do this in a new format. I'm gonna test some things out. Graham, what's your thoughts, big dog? Less than 2 minutes.
Hi, Anton. Appreciate you. I'm calling for a different perspective. I'm in Canada, so I watch you every day. My ex actually is a comp manager. She makes like 120 grand, did many years in school. I'm a delivery driver, packages, Amazon, stuff like that. So I listen to you every day when I drive, so I appreciate your content. I made 110 grand. I just need a license. So
Wait,
you don't
you said you make 110 grand?
Yes, just delivering packages. All I needed was a license. My wife is a conks. She has her CPA. She's a manager at school.
And she makes 120?
120.
So to combine, you guys make 230.
No, we're divorced now, but I'm just saying that. Yeah. She went through school for years and years. I'm making 120. All I needed was a license, a clean record, and I made like 110. So trade, especially in Canada, trade is something they're looking for. Building houses, mechanic, welders, even doing you're in construction, so taping. Guys who do taping here make $56 an hour just to tape. So yeah, trade is much cheaper than spending a lot of money in college and you never know what you could do. if you're good, some people are good with books, some people go with the hands. I'm good with my hands. There's no fault either side. You just have to go with what you're good with. That's it. But I appreciate all your thing all day, and all the truck drivers out there. Keep the good work up.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, Graham. All right, so I got to clear out the back. I'm going to clear out the back. All right, just because I wanted to get y'all thoughts. And throughout the show, maybe every one or two subjects, I'm going to ask the audience what their thoughts are, and I'm going to give y'all 1 to 2 minutes to be able to get y'all thoughts on specific subjects because I don't want to operate in an echo chamber. I love the chat. I also love reading y'all chats and having conversations with y'all. And so what I want this to do is I want this to be a more interactive show on certain subjects because I want to get y'all opinion. And I think that this is bigger than me. I think that this show is more than just me giving my opinion. This show is y'all show. All right. This is the show because y'all been asking me, Anton, we want to give our thoughts. We want y'all to come, we want to be able to come up. We want to say what we want to say. Okay. Well, the Millionaire Morning Show is where, since it's just me, it's going to be me and you. All right. So every other subject, I'm going to make sure that y'all get your thoughts off. If y'all have disagreements, you'll be able to voice it here. If you have things that you actually agree with or you want to give a different perspective, this is where you're going to be able to voice it. I don't want this to just be me giving reactions, interactions, and that's it. I want y'all, if your mama disagree with me, if your grandfather say, Anton, you an idiot, if y'all actually want to give some additional context that I'm not familiar with in the city that I'm reacting to, I want y'all to say it here. All right, room 9, we got a lot of people that give their opinion. Anton Daniels, we got a lot of people that give their opinion. I want y'all to give y'all opinion here, so I'm going to be integrating y'all into the show, and I'm going to be testing some things out. So bear with me, but this is what we're going to rock with. This is what my opinion is. After hearing y'all opinion, after hearing what she says, this is what my opinion is. I believe that you have to know who your child is. I believe, let me say it again, that you have to know who your child is. For example, I don't think that college alone is the play. I don't think that trades alone is the play. I think that we have to have more people going into trades because it is the space that we'll probably get more successful people that otherwise would just be fiddling and twiddling their thumbs in college. But I think that we have to be more specific. I almost believe it's almost like arranged marriage, right? But when we're talking about it from a business perspective, we need to start handpicking. And there's movies where they say, hey, listen, we tested you. You are better over here. We tested you. You are better over here. And of course, you're going to have the anomalies. The problem with our society and our culture is that we are one-trick pony. And we always think that if this person or these people make a mistake and they get a bunch of student loans and they do something that they're not supposed to do, then it's, well, college is bad and student loans are a scam. No, it's not. No, it's not. There are a segment of people that would be great and successful when they pick certain curriculums and fields that they would be great at. And then there's a segment of people that is phenomenal, and that dude is supposed to be a lineman. And this person is supposed to be an HVAC technician. And this person is supposed to be an electrician. And this guy, he's special. He's going to be a politician. And we need to be focused on pushing and grooming him and ensuring that we protect his innocence so that he don't mess up. We have to be, our responsibility as a society and as a community is to be more hands-on and less divisive, less hateful, and more intimate. I think that that's the best word, more intimate with handpicking our children and saying, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're going to do, and this is what you're going to do. Because we know them better than they know themselves. My family knew what my path was, and they literally ensured and groomed me for the path that I was going to be on. All right, I'll give you all an example, and then I'm going to bring it back to the careers. My father, this is why it's important to have fathers in your life. My father understood my boxolitis. we gonna have a real conversation, right? My father understood my boxolitis. And so they were very, very vigilant in putting into me, Anton, we don't have children out of wedlock. We don't do this. We don't do that. I know that you love the girls and all of this other stuff, but if you're gonna be out here in these streets, you're gonna have to marry her. So in a way, they not only gave me standards, but they protected me from myself. They protected me from myself by saying, listen, you're going to do the right thing, and this is the framework that you do it in. So it ensured that I never found myself a victim of family court. I never then messed up what my path was going to be when it came to success. I was then able to use myself as an example to illustrate how you're supposed to move as a man because I had a strong father in my life. But I don't think that only extends to relationships. And we spend so much time focused on relationships that we're not spending time understanding who our children are, developing their character, and then pushing them in a certain direction that they're supposed to go in. So I think that there are so many different paths, and we have to handpick our children and say, this is how you're supposed to move. Some people are supposed to go into trades. More people than not would probably be more successful than being in a trade. But it is some people that's supposed to be an attorney, and it's other people that are supposed to be, a mayor, and it's other people that's supposed to be a civil engineer, and it's other people that's supposed to be a mechanical engineer, and there's other people that are supposed to be, an AI machine learning engineer and a prompt engineer. So I don't think that. I think that the real problem is that we keep saying yes or no instead of saying, okay, who is supposed to go down this path and who is supposed to go down that path. And part of the problem with our culture and our society is that I believe that we keep telling everybody to dream instead of telling everybody to be practical. And if you want to live your dreams, then you do so after you take care of your responsibilities. Do what you want after you take care of your business. And if what you believe that you're great at supersedes what you're currently doing, then we can justify that makes sense. But everybody ain't supposed to be a rapper. We keep selling everybody on ball players, rappers, scammers, and that. That's it. That's all we sell people on. All right, you think you're great? Well, you do it after you do your 40 hours. Do it on the weekend. Do it after you get off of work. If you love it so much, then okay, you're supposed to be a superstar afterwards. And let your talent overwhelm your practical job or whatever it is that you do to bring resources in. Otherwise, some of us are supposed to just be whatever it is that we can be, and we can be super successful as a result of it. Some of us don't even need to start our own business when it comes to engineers or electricians and HVAC technicians. Some of y'all just need to, you ain't good as a business person. You just need to be doing whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing. This morning, I had a HVAC technician come in. I had the heater under my desk because I couldn't get an HVAC technician in here to fix the heat in here over the last couple of days, because I called him over the weekend because I came in here on Sunday on our live stream and I said, man, what's wrong with the air? And so I wound up calling the guy. He came, he said, all right, I can't get there till Tuesday. So I'm sitting up here with a space heater. I DoorDashed a space heater in here. I didn't even know you can DoorDash a space heater. I DoorDashed a space heater. He came in this morning. He said, oh, okay, well, listen, I went up on the roof. The belt was loose. I had to do all of the different belts. That's why I was making so much noise. And I changed all of the filters. I did this. You good. You shouldn't have no more problems. Gladly willing to pay him. Gladly willing to pay him. Whatever he asked, I was willing to pay. I don't think that there's a year that goes by that I don't, in some form, way, or shape, or fashion, interact with an HVAC technician outside of building houses, because it's going to be a rental property. It's going to be this commercial building. It's going to be something that breaks now, and I got to get them up in here because I'm not going on that roof. So, yes, it's an opportunity across the board. I think that we just have to be a lot more vigilant. We have to be a lot more vigilant in what we do to justify whether or not you should go to college or go into a trade. Bro, Y'all can't be going to college, honest to God. Stop with this liberal arts bull. Bro, you don't even need to go to school and pay a professor to get a piece of certificate to do African American studies. You can have a conversation with ChatGPT and Gemini at this point. Real talk. Seriously. All of this liberal art, listen, leave that to them. Leave that to them. Liberal arts, in my opinion, is for rich people. Liberal arts, history, paying somebody to teach it to you in class, that is a privilege. That's not logical. That's for rich. Gender studies is a rich people curriculum. I said it. Gender studies is a rich people curriculum. That's not for us. If you from the hood, leave that gender studies to them folks. If you trying to figure it out because you're trying to get out of the bottom class to get to the next class, leave that to them folks. That's for people that ain't got nothing better to do with their time. Time is precious for the rest of us. All right? No, we're not doing African American studies. We're not doing none of that. We're not doing no protests and none of that. We got to get our money together. Activism is for rich people. Poor people have been participating in rich folk business, and that's why we still poor. Poor people have been participating in rich folks' business. That's why we still poor. As a collective, as a group. You need money. We need money. We got to put money in people's pocket. Money. And then we going to start having some conversations. Broke people can't even participate effectively because they too worried about where their next meal is going to come. All this activism, all of this talking tough, partying, that's a rich folk activity. That ain't for the rest of us. Oh, y'all didn't like that part. I'm sorry. Give me a second. That's for them folks. That's not for us. We got to stop doing what everybody else doing because they made it popular. We got to stop doing what everybody else doing because they made it popular. Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all didn't like that part. Y'all thought that it was cool to protest. What we should have been doing while they was talking about Black Lives Matters was trying to figure out where the money was, because the people that understand what that was sitting there looking at y'all on y'all TV, laughing at y'all. You can't even really be an activist until you got power to put somebody in a position to make some money. That's what real activism is. Activism is not protesting. Activism is not using your platform to get more visibility. You know what activism really is? For all of my I'm going to beat up on you intellectuals for a minute that think y'all smart, because I said it the other day. Some of y'all heroes, they only heroes to people that got student loans. All right? Activism is really putting somebody in a position to make change. It is not asking somebody that got the power to give you something that you don't already have. Activism, true activism, is going to get the money and then putting your people on. True activism is being able to give somebody a job, not with somebody else's money, through your own growth. That means, listen, we got to stop trying to put people on with other people's money. Hey, man, I can get you in the door. No, we need to get to the next level. We've been doing that since the plants. The next level is, my business is growing so fiercely that I need help. And the help that I'm going to get is from my inner circle of people that I trust the most. So what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to figure out how I can put somebody on, I'm going to teach you how to fish, and I'm going to pay you to do it because you're going to add value into the growth of my company. That's true power. Power is putting somebody in a position to make some money off of your hard work. That's activism. I'm going to go through the door so that you don't have to work as hard, but then you leverage the same lessons and you're more fierce, right? My father always taught me, listen, I'm going to make the sacrifice so that you can make a whole bunch of money, and it is your responsibility to put everybody else on and to tell them the truth. And it's going to be people that hate you. It's going to be people that try to dismantle your argument because they want to stay in this mindset because they're looking at life as a construct and they're only operating based off of the box that somebody else put them in. So it's your job to show them that they are not their neighborhood. They are not the color of their skin. They're not male. They're not female. They're not the environment that they were raised in. You are whatever it is that God ordained you to be. You are not this construct that a man told you. We designate ourselves as black because somebody told you that a percentage of the blood then determines your ethnicity. We operate within this matrix of a construct that somebody gave to us, and we think that we're intellectual because they're teaching us how to operate within their construct. So if you go to college, and the reason why we call it indoctrination camps, if you go to college, right, and you learn what they're teaching you, first of all, history is written by winners. Secondly, they're not teaching you how to think for yourself. They're teaching you how to operate within what it is that they need to continue to keep their structures and their societies thriving. So they're going to put you in a position to be a worker. They're not going to teach you how to provide for yourself and think for yourself to advance the next generation. So we spend so much time learning and getting validated because we think that because we can get a certificate, I'm smart, I'm more educated than you. No, you live within a construct of what they've defined you to be, and they allowed for you to learn what they want you to know so that you can operate under the premise that you're free, but you're really just a slave. You're a slave to what they want you to know. You don't even know how to think for yourself. So now you think, and a bunch of other people, that they then created this environment for you to go and get a bunch of student loans so you can stand up the banks. So now they sold you on the idea that you need to finance your education to operate within a society. And so now you're giving money to the banks while at the same time being controlled because you don't think that you're going to get any student loan relief from this self-inflicted wound, from something that they input inside of your head and subconsciously made you think that in order for you to be successful, you got to operate within this construct. So now you just became a part of this loop that you're then going to pass on as a generational curse, and it's all created for them to continue to keep power and for you to continue to make the banks rich. You a fool, you a pawn. And because we go to these liberal institutions and we think that we're teaching a curriculum that somehow makes us valid, smarter, wiser, stronger, and better than everybody else, but you poorer than everybody else. And so think about it for a second. Why are the people that are supposedly the smartest always the poorest? Have we ever asked ourselves this question? How come they're never able to stand up something, but they're always operating within the same environment that they're looking to change, but they're always poor? How come they're no better than the people that they're educating? Why is it that the people that teach at these universities, most of the time, they're poor? Think about it. Why am I listening to a nigga that went and got a degree and went to school all his life, but never was able to build anything for himself? My mentors are doers. They basically created this doom loop for you to operate in and for you to feel good about yourself because you want to say, yup, I got this piece of paper. Look at it. I'm going to frame it on my wall. And we supposed to believe that shit means something. I'm supposed to celebrate that and say, oh man, look how great that is. I thought that you was a freedom fighter. I thought that you was a civil rights leader. I thought that you was a person that was pushing the better for your people. Then why are you operating in these institutions? And then they try to validate it by saying, well, I went to an HBCU. That was started by the very same people that you're protesting against. It's called Spelman. Do you know who Spelman is? Did y'all do any research, or did you just say, you know what, but I like the parties. You know what, I like this. Well, we should go for institutions of higher learning for black people. There's more of these people that graduate. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Are you listening to what y'all saying? Are y'all looking at what y'all subscribing to? Have y'all thought, and I'm not saying that college is a bad thing. Hear me out. I'm not saying that college is a bad thing, but have you ever thought about the long-term play of why they then gave this to you in the first place? You think they believed in you? You think that they really loved you? Oh man, listen. All I'm saying, and I'm not saying something is bad. I'm not saying that something is good. I'm just asking you to question everything and think your way through it. That's all I'm saying. If you're choosing to go to college, if you are choosing to go into trade, the word of God, and let me tell you what's really missing from these intellectuals, is that they so smart that they outthinking God. Us dumb folk, we rely on the word of God, and they can't understand why we so much more successful than them. They think that we happen to stumble upon some kind of success because, we can't be smarter than them. They lean into their own understanding, but the word of God says in everything that you do, get understanding. You need to understand the why as to why you are here in the first place. None of these people can beat me, and I will always be the boogeyman because they think that they're smart, and I understand where my wisdom comes from. That's the difference. That's the difference. You can do any ACT you want. You can do any SAT you want. You can take as many courses as you want. You can read as many books as you want. But I will tell you, you will never, ever be able to stand up against me because I'm ordained to do this. And that's the difference between me and you, is that I only subject myself to God. You subject yourself to what a man put in front of you in order to keep you within this construct. And that's the difference between me and you. That's why you fear me. Every last one of these people fear you. It's not just me, it's you. Because when you truly unlock who you are, when it comes to your true purpose on this earth, it's not going to be based off of what no man told you to study on a book that he wrote. None of these people can beat me in a debate. None of them. I'm telling you right now. None of them can beat me in a conversation, a debate. None of them can stand in front of me. They all fear you. They fear you. You know why? Because they have no choice but to tremble in the face of God. And they see it on you, and they don't know what it is. They don't know how you got there. They're trying to figure out, where did this guy come from and why is he so popular? And it's because it ain't got nothing to do with you. It's all based off of what it is that I'm supposed to do, and I'm just being unquestionably obedient. That's the difference. I don't subject myself. When I go through something, and I will tell you, I probably make at least 7 to 8 calls a day to my spiritual leaders to confirm what I already know after I spoke with God on different issues that I need to solve for. Most of my business acumen is confirmed through spirituality. When I come up with an idea, I pray about it. I'm going to give y'all the game. Y'all don't even know this. This is the honest to God on my daughter's life truth. When I come up with a business idea, or when I come up with an interview idea, or when I come up with an idea of changing the format of a show or something like this, I'm gonna give you the game. I pray about it. I make it make sense. I do my research, and then I go to God and I say, wait a minute, does this make sense? Is this what I'm supposed to do? And then I go and get a witness, and then I go and get another witness, and I say, pray with me on this, and then give me what your thoughts are, and then I confirm it with my spiritual crew. And that's how I come up with what I'm going to do. That is the pure reason. That is the main reason that I've been successful. I'm telling you the honest to God truth. I cannot be any more transparent with you. I go to my spiritual crew and we pray together. And then I get confirmation And if I get confirmation that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, I go. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. We rely so much on the devil for our advice instead of relying on the word. The word is the word. It was the word yesterday. It's going to be the word today. It's going to be the word tomorrow. That is where my guidance comes from. When I tell y'all this every single day, that I don't listen to people. I listen to God. The only person that can, or the only entity that can tell me anything, the only thing that I will ever humble myself to is God. That is it. I don't care about what anybody says. So when I'm going with the confidence, knowing that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. That is the only thing that matters to me. That's why I will always beat every single enemy, because, and I went into the Apple store yesterday, and I'm gonna get into the next part of the show. I don't even know how I got this derailed. I went into the Apple store yesterday because I went to go and get a cord because my cord had broke on my that I used for my laptop, right? So I go into the Apple store in downtown Detroit, and there's a bunch of people around, and there's a lady, she come up to me and she says, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. I wouldn't even believe that it was you unless I seen your hat." And so I said, "Okay, what's up? What's going on?" So she introduced me to her family. And then the girl at the Apple store that checked you in, she was like, "Why is everybody coming up to you?" Because there was a bunch of people that was coming up to me. So I took a bunch of pictures and stuff like that. And we kicked it. And I kicked it with everybody because I love kicking it with people. So I was stuck in there for a half hour. And so shout out to Kendall. Kendall was the girl that checked it in, and she was like, she was feeling me. I ain't even gonna get into that part. On my way out the door, here's the point of the story. On my way out the door, it's two police officers, right? And it's a female police officer, and I said that I was gonna remember her name. And she said, "Oh my God, you got a halo over you." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Who are you?" She said, "You got a halo over you." And she said, "I could see it." And she said, "I seen it when you were talking to all of these people. And I was trying to figure out who you were and why everybody was asking about you." And I said, "Oh, you so sweet." She says, "Let me pray for you because God told me that you're going to do some even more incredible things, but you need our covering and you need the prayer warriors." She said, "I don't know who you are. I've never met you before. Listen, this is the honest to God truth on my father's grave, on my daughter's life." She said, "I don't know who you are, but I have to pray for you." And so she sat there, and right there in the middle of the Apple store, she grabbed my hands, we prayed, and she prayed all of these great blessings over me. And then I knew that she is who she was, because then she said, "And I pray all of these blessings in Jesus' name." That's what my life is like. That's what my life is like. My life, I'm covered. People pray for me every day. People pray for me every day. She was a police officer. I don't have no fear. I walk by faith, not by sight. I don't look at life the same way that everybody else look at life. This is what I do. Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats. We got a bunch of them piling up. Shout out to y'all. Let me read these cash apps first. Somebody said you a Jesus freak. If that's what you want to call it. Mike, that dude, I appreciate you, Mike, that dude, for holding me down. Spencer Campbell, what up, though? Says, "Good morning, AD and the Bag Chasers." Shout out to Spencer Campbell. The greatest thing that a person can do is pray for you. I stand on that. Jesse V says, "Big Josh, my husband, is home just in time for the holidays." Shout out to Big Josh. "It's good for my house to be watching this show together. Thank you for adding value to me and my family." What up, Jesse V? What up, Big Josh in the building? Kay Cooper says, "Good morning, Anton and the Bag Chasers. I'm driving to Florida. Won't be in the chat. Have a great show. My son is here for Thanksgiving from Italy." Kay Cooper, you know we love you and congratulations for you being able to kick it with your son. I love that. And tell us about that Italy experience. I've never been. Be who you are, says Young Money. Just a brown girl in America says, do whatever you want to do, Anton. You ain't missed yet. I like the authentic you. You earn the right to have fun. Good morning, chat. What up, though? My girl, just a brown girl. Young Money says, indifferent to no jumper, but that's a good look. T Bunny says, hey, AD, thank you and Q for having me on the panel last night. It was fun. Shout out to T Bunny. I had fun talking to you, baby girl. Young Money says, about to spend my bi-weekly check on Only Fans. Real ones can relate. Nah, you on your own on that one, big dog. Bo Winkle says, what do you think about the woman calling another man baby in front of her man, then stating it was just words of endearment after her man checked her about it? I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Is that a viral video that's going on? Dre with the K in the building says they acting like the woman on the panel last night, trying to keep you in the house and keep tabs on you. Can't nobody keep tabs on me. Rest in peace, Sam Cook, says Young Money. Malachi says, back chasers, pray for me, y'all. I'm trucking through Thanksgiving and I'm setting aside time to catch up on Stock Club this weekend. God bless you, my friend. Be with him, Jesus. In Jesus' name. Shadow Dragon TV says, we're protective, big dog. Just be safe. Also, have you ever thought of interviewing 50 Cent? Always thought his business acumen was worth exploring. I think that 50 is dope. Young Money says, when I join the Illuminati, I'm going to ask for Khloe Kardashian's hand in our marriage. Mrs. Crochet or Crochet? AD, just a heads up that Nate the lawyer is live and successfully went through surgery. Shout out to Nate the lawyer. We love him. We prayed for him. Wesley Turner says, we want you to be careful, AD. Adam 22 is going to send a level 100 deep throat nut goblins to your hotel room. We are just looking out for you. Bro, I'm 43. If you think that it's a woman that's going to get to me and that I'm a move based off of what a chick look like or something like that, then y'all really don't know me well. My girl, what up? All right, so here we go. Good morning, Poppy Chulo. Ye Miss Amors in el chat, be blessed. That sound like you love me. I love you too, Mika. I love my Mika. What up, Mika? TS Car Wash and Detail Services 80 salute. Young Money says, I'm 41 years old. The greatest decision I ever made was joining the military in 2006 and using a GI Bill to go to college after. That's smart. That's smart. I like that. Thoughts on Steph and Under Armour split? TS Car Wash and Detail Service. It probably wasn't profitable for Under Armour to continue to pay Steph Curry because the shoe wasn't selling no more. TS Car Wash and Detail Services. They say David froze the body of the young lady. Y'all want to talk about that? I'll get into that. I'll throw that on the chat. Make sure y'all remind me. Great call since AR is back 87. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, you saw Viola Fletcher pass? I didn't see that. Send that to me. More Than Mellow says, I worked as a mechanic, roadside assistance, and towing for 7 years. I switched to IT, but if everything went to hell, I can leverage those skills. That's smart. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, thoughts on Rich Paul telling his clients that $200 million is not a lot of money. I'm going to get into that next. Delbert Smith says, I say do both. My son is doing auto tech first, then business degree after. He wants to sell cars. All right, let him experiment. Don't let him, let him do both. That's good. I like that. Manny Plays PC says, my brother helped convince me to be an electrician because he knew college wasn't for me. Smart brother. Nicholas Henry says, where you get that poster behind you? Oh, this is not a poster. These are paintings. These are hand painted. The same girl that did the Pistons, all of these are hand paintings. That's real money. All of those hundreds are real money up there. On Fabs, that's all real money. That's real gold on that's real gold up there. That's real money. That's real gold. All of these are painting. These aren't even canvas. This isn't print. Let me see if I can get this up for y'all. All of this is actual hand painting. See the painting? See that? See the real detail in it? It could seem like it's a canvas, but it's not. And these go all across the wall. So I commissioned this. It took like 6 months, and it's all going all the way down there too. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 or 8 different ones. So that is hand commissioned, hand painted, dope stuff by my homegirl Allison. She came through and she did some dope stuff, and so I commissioned her to do that when I got into the studio. It's dope. It's so much detail in these things. Lauryn Hill, Sam Cooke, Nipsey Hussle, Young Dolph, Nirvana, Sade, J. Cole, Rihanna, Dr. Dre, 2001, all of that. So that's where that came from. Pretty dope. You said you asked how you can get one. You can't, nigga. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's a one-off. You can't get one. That's the whole idea of why I showed it to you, is that it's not a print. What? Did I miss something? Did I miss something? It's a one-off. It's custom. You can't get it. It's a one of one. Jesus Christ. It's almost like we on two different planets. So one of one. Fukari Ferry says we had a class in high school called Educational Planning that focused on planning our post-high school future, but they discontinued it after my class. Wesley Turner says take the Johnson O'Connor aptitude tests. Young Money says shout out to the liberal arts degree holders. I respect them. Nicholas Henry says what about the business administration degree? Yeah, stay out of that. Stay away from that. TS Car Wash and Detail Services, thoughts on Jules Santana saying kids don't need to know how to read these days. Y'all got to send this stuff to me. Send it to me. Send me specifically. Send me the Jules Santana thing where he said that kids don't know how to read these days. I want to see that. Yeez Bay says, that's some real talk, Anton, peace and love. Young Money says, y'all think paying $50,000 for a vehicle is more important than paying for some amount for an education. Sarah Naomi says, hey, boss. What up, Sarah? What up, Sarah? What up, S. Stopping by to send love, keeping you, the wife, and the family in prayer. Happy Thanksgiving to the chat and all of the chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Sarah said it. Corey Williams says, I'm a master tech at Mercedes, and I make well over $170,000 a year and have the freedom to know I could side job tax-free and go anywhere in the world and live comfortably in my accolades. Shout out to you, bro. Killing it. I love that. My tuition at YouTube University is $7.99, said More Than Mellow. Wesley Turner says, our black intellectuals are the smartest in the room, but don't have the results to back it up. That's why I said it. They say Ozempic is erasing big people. Says TS Car Wash and Detail Service. Change the Narrative says, you cooking AD. Speaking of God, you check those songs out I sent you. Now, I haven't checked them out yet. I've been consumed. I've been trying to catch up, to be honest with you. Thank you, though. Young Money, I'm going to check it out. Young Money says, now talk about all of the broke people who do believe. The word that man wrote, listen, there is no broke people that do believe, because even people that say that they believe don't necessarily believe, because faith without works is dead. So the true measurement of whether you believe is actually if you put the work in, not if you're just sitting at home praying. Dirty Woman says, hey, D showing love, keep preaching the word of God. Demons in the chat trembling at the word of God. Jesus Christ is King. Coach Chris says, AD, do you have moments you are not proud of? How do you handle it? Do you feel vindicated after? And does it cause you to apologize to others? No, I try not to really have no moments that I'm not proud of. Yeah, absolutely. I got moments that I'm not proud of. How do I handle it? Sleep it off and try to do better the next day. I don't hold on to L's like that. That's my biggest thing. I don't spend so much time focusing on the L's or, oh man, if I messed up. That's not my play. My play is what's next. I learn to forgive myself quick and I make adjustments. I forgive myself quick and I make adjustments. I don't have time to wallow in regret. I don't have time to wallow in regret. I got moves to make. Hey man, we messed up on that. We back at it the next time. I don't sit on that and then think that that's gonna define me. That don't define me. I'm too busy trying to get to the dubs. You know what I'm saying? I don't worry about that. That's the honest to God truth. I went to Catholic school from 2nd grade to high school. I know all y'all Jesus freaks. It's funny because Catholicism doesn't even necessarily praise Jesus. And just because you sat there don't mean that you learned nothing. T Bunny says, I just want to give a happy birthday shout out to my son, Manny. Happy 17th. What up, Manny? Happy birthday, big dog. Coach Chris says, AD, can I pay extra to get a seat at the table? Help a brother out. I've been waiting forever. Sent you some DMs. Appreciate you, big dog. There will be no extra paying for a seat at the table. There will be no extra paying for a seat at the table. Need a DBZ hand paint. If you're a real one, I'm not a real one. Turn your losses into lessons, facts, pick yourself up and get to the goal. Shout out to Young Money. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All right. Y'all said y'all want to go to this other one. This is the chat's show. All right. So we're going to talk about what the chat want to talk about. I seen Cam Newton react to that, in which Rich Paul said $200 million is not a lot of money. I'm going to share that with y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Because really, I got caught up in it because they were talking about private jets.
Afford to fly private all the time. I got guys 22 making $200 million over the next 4 or 5 years. I got several of those guys, right? I'm constantly telling them that's not a lot of money.
Man, I'm going to tell you like this. Anybody who proclaims to ride or fly private every single flight, they capping.
Unless you own a plane. Still?
They capping.
Why so?
Let me tell you like this, brother. There's very few individuals, and call me crazy. There's very few individuals that really benefit off of flying private. In order for you to really benefit off of flying private, you have to own a plane. Mm-hmm. Stay with me, Peggy.
Okay, I'm with you.
Now you got to really stay with me with this.
All right. You got to break them numbers down what that flying private look like, too.
Okay. We in Atlanta, Georgia, no, Peg.
Mm-hmm.
I got a quote to go from Atlanta to Miami. You know how much that's going to cost me?
To fly private.
To fly private. In the let's say an 8 to 15 passenger.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I got a quote to go from Atlanta to Miami. You know how much that's going to cost me?
To fly private.
To fly private. In the let's say an 8 to 15 passenger.
Okay, 8 to 15.
Rough numbers, it's going to cost you anywhere from about $30,000 to $60,000.
No, that's not right. That's wrong. That's wrong. I'm telling you specifically that that's wrong. He said from Atlanta to Miami. From Atlanta to Miami, it's gonna cost 30 to 60. That's not true. That's not right. That's off. You can get that for half that. That's the honest to God truth. Not even close. Not even close. I don't know how many times Cam has actually booked a private flight, but from Atlanta to Miami, 30 to 60,000. That's not true. And I'm not ragging on him. I'm not saying that his quote wasn't wrong. I'm saying that whoever he was booking through, whoever the people that he was chartering through, if he's saying that they were trying to charge him $30,000 to $60,000 to get from Atlanta to Miami is $30,000 to $60,000. That's wrong. I don't know who was trying to finesse him. I don't know what broker he was going through, and I've flown private. I've had planes sent to me. I'll tell you specifically who sent them for me. First of all, I've flown private through MGM. MGM have sent me planes to fly all from to Biloxi to Las Vegas to a lot. I ain't gonna say certain other places, but to a lot of places. 30 to 60 is that's why. I don't know what kind of jet specifically that they were booking him for. He said an 8 to 15. I understand that, but see, you can do it cheaper. Number one, you can do it significantly cheaper to fly private from Atlanta to Miami, two major hubs. Let me hear the rest of this first.
One way.
Hell no. Hell no. If they trying to charge you 60,000, let's just go in the middle. Let's just use a number, right? Let's say 45K. If they're trying to charge you 45,000 one way from Atlanta to Miami, they seen him coming. They seen him coming a mile away. One way? They seen him coming a mile away. No way.
30 to 60K.
One way.
God,
one way. And from my expertise of my sources, you're not really paying for the private experience more so than you're paying for the fuel.
Well, you're also paying for the pilots. It's a lot of other things that go into it, but we'll get there in a second.
Now, Peggy, you gotta pay attention to me. If you see her on a private flight, hold on, Peggy, you gotta stay with me with this one. Now.
Come on.
If you see her posting that she on a private plane, she with somebody.
You can definitely do it for 15 to 20. You can go from Atlanta to Miami for 15 to 20 without even thinking twice.
She ain't that low. It depends on who she is, I guess.
She ain't Dolo. Dodo.
Somebody taking that picture.
Bro, understand this, dog. The amount of money that it costs to fly private, I paid that ticket once. I said never again. That doesn't mean that I only flew private once. If you see me flying private, somebody either done sent the jet through the company or I got some good friends.
Yeah.
Hey.
That is true. You can often at times leverage the business relationships that you have. If you wind up doing sponsorships or you wind up doing deals, a lot of times they will send the jet for you, or you can leverage that business relationship in order to be able to fly private. I got friends that do it all the time. So a lot of people, when they are flying private, I'm not going to say it's on the company's dime, because the company is benefiting from the relationship that they have with that person, whether it be sponsorships or whatever, right? And you can fly out of smaller airports and stuff like that. But he is correct. He is 100% correct on that. I think that they were trying to send too big of a plane for him or something like that, for him to fly private from Atlanta to Miami. Again, because I think that's just that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. I don't know anybody that's flying from Atlanta to Miami, and I know a lot of people that fly from Atlanta to Miami and Miami to Atlanta that's paying $60,000, $40,000. That's insane. Nobody is paying that for that short of a flight. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you would have said something like 15, 16, 17, even 20, then that makes sense. But it's too short of a flight, and you don't even need that much fuel to get there. So it's really tripped out.
Are you going to Atlanta? Hey, man, go on and drop me out there, my boy.
Yeah,
I have no issue with a diamond medallion.
okay.
I have no issue with American Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
I have no... I think the buck stops with me with United. That's
I only fly Delta. But then again, you know, I think it might even be cheaper. It depends on how you flying, man. So, like, for example, I recently went over to, where was I at? Croatia. I recently went over to Croatia and I spent, it was 3 of us. 24, almost 40, a little less than 40, like 37,000. But that was round trip. You know what I'm saying? And you're not really, if you're trying to get a really good experience, because I just did Delta One for 3 people and I wound up spending 36,000 all round trip. So essentially you spent 18,000 going there and then 18,000 going back, but you did a 12-hour flight, practically 10 to 12-hour flight. So, you know, when you do enough of those, you do a few of those, you automatically gonna get to Diamond Medallion, because I think it takes $28,000. Now Delta has changed it to where they don't combine different rewards. So it's not how many flights you get. You can't do it like that or whatever. It is purely based off of money. Delta's medallion status, which Delta is the best, and I think it's American Airlines under that. Then it may be United, and then it's everything else. Southwest, and then Spirit and Frontier, and you know, obviously you got the Emirates and you got all of that stuff. The only thing that you really shouldn't fly, never fly Air India. Never fly Air India. The only thing that you really need to stay away from is stay away from Air India. It's Delta, AA, United, Southwest, and again, of course, you got all of these other airlines, the smaller ones, Southwest, Spirit, and Frontier. So don't do Air India at all. But yeah, it took me, I think, like 36,000 to do. And ain't nothing wrong with any of those airlines. You get to where you got to get to. But, you know, I usually just make sure I get my medallion status. And then I just keep it moving from there. But Delta's medallion status is based off of money. It's not based. It's based off how much money you spend. It's not based off of how many flights you take anymore.
That's probably the lowest I'm gonna go.
Delta.
I got Delta. American Airlines. I rock with American Airlines.
You have to.
I've never flown
If I
JetBlue.
have to, I'll go United.
I've never flown JetBlue before, so I don't know anything about JetBlue.
But Delta number or American.
You try to hit me with a Spirit. Nah, I'm good. I'd rather drive.
The most Spirit, you might, the Spirit of Kim.
The spirit of me telling you, oh, that was cute. I ain't riding and flying in no Spirit.
You ain't Frontier?
No. Southwest. Them days gone, Peggy. And it ain't because I'm bougie.
Yeah.
I'm slick claustrophobic.
You like to get your
Bruh. People playing them petty games with arm placements.
Oh, yeah. Get to the spot first.
You know what I'm saying? You get people get real petty in their lines. Like, I was here first.
So my medallion status in order to get to Diamond. So Diamond is the top. Is 28,000. So it's you see how it says the little circle right there is 28,000. The way that you get to Diamond Medallion is you got to spend at least $28,000 in a year. All right, it's $28,000 in a year. So once you cross the $28,000 a year in spending individually, so that's per person, you can't go and buy other people's plane tickets and do it. Like, even when I buy my daughter's, that counts towards hers. That does not count towards mine. When I buy my chick, that counts towards her. That does not count towards me. All right. So the medallion status is based off of what you spend on your flight. Even if somebody book a flight towards you, that counts towards your medallion status. It does not count towards, it counts towards whoever the person that's taking the flights, medallion status. So remember that when y'all taking these flights, remember that you're spending money is based off of the flight that you're taking. All right, just to let you know. So y'all keep sending these chicks these flights, y'all getting a medallion status up. You're not doing nothing for yourself.
Hey, dog. With me, man, I'm plat, baby.
You said what?
I'm plat. I'm 360, man. Hey, man, Delta, man, thank you for, put me in that elite club. 360, I go anywhere. +1, all that. I get Porsche pull-up.
And Delta also has, I forgot what it's called, but it's like a concierge service where you basically get like, it's kind of like taking a private flight where you pulling up. What is it called? I forgot what it was called again. But Delta has a separate service even beyond going on a regular, going through TSA and going through all of that. They got a completely separate service of that. If y'all know what it's called, let me know what it's called inside of the chat. I can't think of it right off the top of my head.
You see what I'm saying? But I ain't going to no Frontier. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. And I'm not knocking anybody who does that.
Because I done jumped in that Frontier.
Bro, I am 6'6". I wear clothes that are tailored to my body, which sometimes means it restricts me from bending down, getting up. It's like, bro, I ain't trying to do all that moving. And then I like a little entertainment when I'm flying, Peggy. That Wi-Fi got to be lit.
Facts. That's another thing that I like about Delta's airplanes is that you can do Wi-Fi. So all of the stuff and all of the work and all of the business that I was taking care of and modifying stuff and making sure that stuff is straight. Now you can't do a whole lot of up and downloading, right? Because I up and download a lot of videos. So all of that stuff has to be already taken care of. But as far as like thumbnails, business, seeing what's going on, yes, that Delta Wi-Fi is slapping. Delta is killing it right now. I ain't even gonna cap.
Yes, sir.
So when Rich Paul talking about, hey, brother, it's okay to be on Delta. Trust me. It's okay to be on Delta.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't out here flying private every single day of the week.
Yeah. Because a lot of people be surprised. They're like, Cam, what you doing in the airport?
Bruh, I'm
Cam,
just
Cam
like,
on my flight.
Hey, listen, bruh. The plan is to keep the money. Not to say that you once had the money.
Yeah.
Don't let that fly over your head. Don't let
Delta
that fly over your head, brother. But I need these kings to stay woke up out here.
Come on now.
She bad, ain't she?
Yeah.
I don't know what all the rest of this is, but he is right. Flying private is very expensive. Most people that fly private, a lot of people that fly private, they do it because their company has a corporate plane. So, the company is basically writing that off as an expense. I've seen a lot of executives, and I've actually been on a plane with an executive before flying private for the company because they were going to a different place. They went over here, and then they went over here for a meeting, and then they was back home, and they flew out of smaller airports. A lot of people that fly private here in Michigan or in Oakland County, they fly out of the Oakland County airport. And so there's literally an airport that is maybe 10, 15 minutes up the street that you can fly private out of. So it depends on who you are, and it depends on, what your business is. If you're just doing it just to stunt, then I would suggest that you just ride regular airlines. There's no need in spending the extra money to stunt. If you're doing it because it saves you time, or you're doing it because it provides you a convenience that you would rather pay for, and you can sustain it, then that's a completely different conversation. But when they saying that $200 million is not a lot of money, I don't know about saying that $200 million is not a lot of money. I think that we pushing it. Right? I think that what he's saying is that what Rich Paul is saying is that $200 million is not a lot of money when you consider the lifestyle that a lot of these people are having. Hold on, 200 million, Rich Paul. Context matters. Rich Paul was saying,
as we're talking about that education process, when you're taking on a client, how important is that they're thinking about life after the career before you involve them in signing them to Clutch?
It's very important. And I'm telling you, man, athletes They live a tough life. It looks great, but when you think about all they endure and the pull down, you know, I always tell my family, let me be your back line of defense. You know, don't allow
Did he say they live a tough life?
yourself to think that what's mine is yours.
I can show you a tough
But
life.
if I'm your back line of defense, then, you know, we can really stay afloat. For athletes, we all have survivor's remorse, right? We all have that feeling that we feel obligated. And like Mr. Bridgman said, I got guys 22 making $200 million over the next 4 or 5 years. I got several of those guys, right? And
By the way,
but the reality of it is, I'm constantly telling them that's not a lot of money based upon where you're starting, because you're starting from zero, right? So how do we understand how to compound that? Because they're done at 33.
So what he's saying is, when these athletes get let's say, for example, you get a 200 million, because context matters, and I understand what he's talking about. He's saying that you're in your early 20s. Let's say, for example, you're going to live until you're 80, but you don't have any business acumen, because he said, let's compound that, right? So he's saying, listen, let's not look at this as a nest egg, because you're going to get accustomed to a certain lifestyle and you don't have the business acumen. You have the athletic ability. You're going to make a lot of money, but you don't have the business acumen to allow for yourself to really be able to compound that over a period of time. So if you take out taxes, if you take out agent fees, if you take out lifestyle, if you take out all of that type of money, then that is not going to be a lot of money for you to survive off of for the next 60 years. 60 years. You have a shelf life. Let's say you're done at 30 or 32. Okay, well, now a lot of these dudes get into it with child support. They pay a crazy amount of money in child support. They pay a lot of money in alimony. They pay for these big old mansions. They got this immaculate big time lifestyle. They flying, $80,000 on to Rome and Italy and all of this stuff. And so, yes. I know that it's enough for you. It's enough for me. It's enough for all of us. But understand the context that he's having the conversation in. He's saying that the lifestyle is very expensive. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to use my small self, obviously not a $200 million man, not a $100 million man. I'm doing okay for myself. I'm going to use myself as an example, okay? When I think about the money that I make, all right? And this is how I want y'all to think. We need to think from a business perspective. When I think about the money that I make, I don't look at it from the lens of, well, I made this much per year. I don't think about it like that. Everything that I think about is, how am I able to sustain my lifestyle for the rest of my life? I look at my budget and I look at my lifestyle. Because when I look at people in the world, when I look at athletes, all the way down to the dude that used to work at the plant, what I look at is, man, I can't believe that they suffering. I can't believe that they struggling. I can't believe that they still trying to figure it out after they retire, right? When I look at the guy that worked at the plant and he still got a house note, right? Or he's looking to retire because he's tired as hell and he made a decent amount of money in his life. Now I'm trying to figure out, why is he complaining about property taxes going up? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? He's now understanding that he's going to be on a fixed income for the rest of his life, whether it be his 401k, his pension, his Social Security, whatever it is that he did at the time that he gathered all of the money is going to determine what his lifestyle is going to be when he gets older. So, for example, when I combine it, right? Because it's a lot of athletes that made a lot of money, but they had a lifestyle and they tricked it off. And that's when they start to try to create these shows. Like, you see a lot of these dudes trying to get on YouTube. You see a lot of them trying to become sports commentators and all of this stuff, right? They got bad habits. They trick on hoes. they gambling, all of this other stuff, right? They have a crazy lifestyle. And it's hard for you not to embrace the lifestyle if that's what you've been doing over the past 10 years. My train of thought is, okay, how can I have a $200,000, $300,000 a month lifestyle for the rest of my life? So what I do is, not only do I vigorously invest when it comes to stocks and all of that type of stuff, right? And that's, we talk about this type of stuff in the Patreon. Not only do I vigorously invest, but also I created the number of what it would take for me to be able to draw down off of that. So let's say, for example, how much do I have to be generating in real estate to sustain that type of lifestyle? Well, okay, 17 properties a month, averaging $2,300 a month per property, is generating me roughly $39,000 to $40,000 a month after expenses, because I don't have no mortgages, right? So now the only expenses that I may have is taxes, property taxes, whatever maintenance that I may have to deal with, but I don't have to deal with maintenance as much because I'm building new property, right? And then also on top of that, you may have to deal with, insurance, property taxes, insurance, and whatever maintenance, okay? Because you have zero mortgages. Well, now I'm multiplying it. Okay, well, if I get 34 to 35 properties, well, that's going to give me 80,000. Okay, so now I'm shooting for a 200 property portfolio with no mortgages, because that would more than allow for me to be able to sustain my lifestyle for the rest of my life. So when we're planning, all right, that's my personal objective. I want the big lifestyle for the rest of my life. When we're planning, all right, and this is relative to whatever life that you want to live, you have to plan for the lifestyle that you want. So many people is living based off of now. They're not also investing into their future. What do you want your life to look like? Or do you want to be relegated to the house and working at Walmart for the rest of your life? What do you want your life to look like? So now you can understand why I'm only going to spend between 5 to 10% of what I take in now. And then I'm going to deploy 90% of what I make, because I have this goal that I want to hit at least 100 properties. You said, are you adjusting your numbers for future repairs that will come as your properties get older? Well, let me tell you what the strategy for, I really shouldn't be talking about this on a public platform, but let me tell you what the strategy is for that. So that's when you have to learn how to turn the properties over once it get to a certain point, and then reinvest the money back into building a new one, right? So you got to do that. So you have a divestment strategy depending on the age of the property and how well kept the property is. And if you maintain the property over a period of time, or you build it right, which is one of the reasons why I decided to get into building instead of just buying it turnkey, because I dictate the quality of the property and whether or not you're going to have to reinvest a lot of money back into it. So it depends on the property itself. All right. It depends on the property itself. Sometimes you may have to get rid of one, and then you may have to reinvest into building another that will give you a low maintenance cost, while at the same time keeping your costs, contained, so that you can still maintain that lifestyle and not have to spend a bunch of money to reinvest into the property. All right. So I'm not going to dig no more into that. We talk about that type of stuff inside of the Patreon, and I show y'all the numbers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And then the numbers also adjust for inflation, right? So if somebody moves out and, you wind up charging more rent because the cost of money is lower, then you start to get into a lot of other calculations. But it's really understanding how money works. When you understand how money works and you understand how business works, then you'll be able to make that assessment and that adjustment. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All right. Have my money go to Chicago Hoes, says Young Money. Cardona Jason says, greetings, Anton. Off topic. Are you and the After Hours crew willing to review a foreign action film that casted a couple of my people from Hong Kong? Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Send it to Slimmy. Anything that relates to reviewing certain movies, Slimmy is the person that curates that. Send it to Slimmy. Young Money says, I ain't flying no woman out private. Best I can do is business first class. Jason 18 says, Cam is the ninth wonder of the world with his outfits. He doesn't think before he speaks. A lot of pro players be some of the corniest dudes. Young Money says, gonna hit up Turkey next year to fix my hairline. Good luck with that. I'm a lick. I'm gonna just say I'm a lick. Cam Cigars Lace, dude is tripping, fam, with the F. Young Money says people will fly private from LA to Vegas and back in a 12-hour period. I was born in Utica, Mississippi. Y'all don't know poverty. Real ones paying for these women's lifestyles and maxed out my Roth 401k this year. That's good that you maxed out your Roth 401k. But here's the problem. I shouldn't even be giving you this game. You actually messed up. You messed up. You left money on the table. You left money on the table. All right, I'll give you this hint. All right. I don't know why I got to do this. A lot of people, I shouldn't even be telling y'all this, honestly, because I usually only reserve this type of information and these type of strategies and these little knickknacks for bag chasers. You maxed out too early, big dog. And I know that you think that you're smart and you're the smartest person in the room, and I appreciate you for the super chats, but you maxed out too early if you maxed out your Roth 401k, right? The difference between a 401k and a Roth 401k is the Roth 401k is after tax. The regular 401k is pre-tax. So this is not nothing new. I'm not giving you any information that you don't already know. Some people may know, some people may not know. The 401k is pre-tax. The Roth 401k is post-tax, okay? So in order for me to tell you why you messed up, I first have to explain to the audience why it's important for you to pay attention to how money works. If you want to reduce the amount that you're paying on taxes because you're basically changing your adjusted gross income, that's the final number that you pay taxes on. If you're adjusting if you're paying it based off of your adjusted gross income, paying it a regular 401k reduces the amount that you're paying on your adjusted gross income. So it's basically pre-taxed, okay, or pre-tax. So let's say, for example, I make $100,000 a year, but then I contribute $23,500 into my 401k. Well, that would mean that my adjusted gross income, because it's pre-taxed, is now $76,500. So now I'm only going to be taxed on $76,500 instead of being taxed at the rate of $100,000 a year. Okay. Now, if I do a Roth, it's post-tax. So I'm still being taxed on $100,000 per year. And the difference is it grows tax-free, and the 401k, you only get taxed on it after you start drawing from it. All right. 401k pre-tax reduces your tax burden right now. Roth 401k post-tax reduces the amount that you're paying on taxes once you start to draw from it. So when the money goes in, all right, when the money goes in, no matter what it grows to, you don't have to pay taxes again on it. It doesn't matter if it grows to $1 million, a quadrillion dollars. No, the limit is not $7,000. The limit for a Roth IRA, an individual retirement account, is $7,000. A Roth 401k is through your job, okay? So you can still reach the exact same limit. The exact same limit is, I think it's $23,500. You can contribute $23,500 as a Roth 401k. The only difference between a 401k, Roth 401k, and a Roth IRA, a Roth 401k and a regular 401k, is both of them are through your job. The only difference is one is pre-tax and one is post-tax. Do you want the money to grow and then you don't have to pay no money after it grows, so you're taking more of a long-term approach? Both of them are good. You should invest in both of them. Or do you want to take the deduction now and then pay the taxes as you continue to draw from it? Now, here's the other side of that conversation, okay? The other side of that conversation is this. I tell people this all the time. Most of you get a match from your job, right? Your contribution into it is $23,500. Try to max out, but don't max out until the very end of the year. And the reason that is because you leave money on the table from the match from your job if you max out early. So let's say, for example, you max out in August or September, and I had to teach my father this when he was alive. I said, Dad, don't ever do that again. And he took my advice. If you max out in August, you no longer get the company match contribution because you over contributed and you didn't plan it out, right? So if you max out in August, you no longer get the company match, the 50%, 25%, or whatever it is that the company is matching you all the way through the end of the year. So what you should do is put the minimum up to getting the maximum of what you get from your job. Put the minimum up to the maximum of what you get from your job. So get as much as you can from your job as free money. It's free money all the way up and through August, September, October. And this is why it's important for y'all to plan. The language of money is different. It's not based off of how much money you make. It's how much money you keep. It's not based off of how much money you make. It's how much money you keep. You get the minimum to get the maximum of what you get from the match. So all the way through August, September, you want to max out on as much as you can to max out on how much they're going to contribute to whatever it is that's going into your retirement. Okay. When you get into October, November, December, you're going to have to act like your job don't exist, because you want to then plan to max out how much you contribute in, because you still want to hit that $23,500 threshold, but you don't want to miss out on the money that you contribute into your job. So here's the strategy. Your goal is to hit the $23,500. When you hit it is the conversation that you want to start having. When you hit it, you don't want to hit it until your last paycheck. You don't want to hit it until practically your last paycheck. Otherwise, you're leaving money on the table, because your job is only going to contribute based off of how you contribute. And if you max out in August, September, your job is no longer contributing that free money. It's leaving money on the table. The job giving it to you for free. Why would you max out early? So basically what I'm telling you is that when you guys are signing up for your 401k, and yes, you should max out, you should be going through. When people ask me, is math needed in the real world? Some of y'all said, Anton, what do you think about Jules Santana saying that math don't matter for people today? This is why math matters. This is why it matters. It matters because if you don't understand how money works, and if you can't calculate things effectively in life, whether it be your retirement, whether it be how much you need to pay to minimize the amount that you're paying in taxes through the end of the year, expenses, business expenses, all of it. This is why most of these artists are getting taken advantage of. This is why a lot of these guys say, I didn't sign that contract, or I don't know what's going on, or I didn't know, or my accountant said that he did it and he said that he took care of it and I wasn't paying attention. How do you even know what he's doing? How do you know what they're doing with your money? How can you watch the people that are supposed to be watching your money? It doesn't absolve you. You can say, well, I'm going to hire somebody to do it. Okay, how do you know they're stealing? How do you know they're doing what they're supposed to do? My job is to know everything, but then to hire people to do it for me, but I still want to have the balances and checks in place to ensure that he's doing what he's supposed to do. You wouldn't even know that you're leaving money on the table unless you was calculating it effectively. First, you got to get to the point that you contributing. Then you got to get to the point to where you don't need that money in the last 3 months, because you then want to max out the contribution amount so that you can then hit that threshold at the perfect time to get all of the money from your regular job. Reading doesn't matter. Oh, okay. He said reading wasn't the most important. Reading and math go hand in hand. Reading and math. Oh, okay. It's the same thing. You still need to know how to read. You still need to know what you're doing. So I don't know if I explained that enough for you guys. When I worked at the University of Michigan, we had a double match. A double match. That's why I loved working for the University of Michigan. The benefits package, your total compensation, when you go to work at a job, and this is why they don't know what they're talking about. Your total compensation when you work at a job is not how much you make per hour. Your total compensation is based off of how much you get, your benefits package, your retirement package, all of that. When I worked at the University of Michigan, I had a double match. So everything that I contributed, they double matched it. That's free money, bro. It's free money. So now my job when I first started getting my benefits package was, all right, I need to calculate this. I need to figure out how much I can contribute. I need to lower my lifestyle because I have to be able to afford, right, this, and this. So now what I did was I had my own businesses and I was running my own businesses. So I didn't care about living off of the money that I made in corporate America. I never lived off of the money that I made in corporate America after I started working at the University of Michigan. I cared more about the benefit packages. I cared more about the retirement, and I cared about the experience because I was going to leverage that to go into working for the banks, right? So now my goal was to figure out, okay, since I don't need this money now, I'm not going to change my lifestyle to fit the amount of money that I'm making, the additional money that I'm making. I'm going to leverage this so that I can then take advantage of all of the benefits package. They paid for me to go to college, right? Once I left community college and I transferred over to a major university, that was a part of the benefit package. That as long as I was going into something technology and STEM related, because I was working in information technology services, they were paying for my schooling 100%. They were paying for me. I was working from home. I was also being able to take advantage of the retirement package, right? So I was looking at the university not from, oh man, how much I make per hour. I was looking at taking advantage of the full benefit package that they had, right? When I tell people, well, you can leverage going to school and take advantage of it without taking out student loans, that was one of the ways that I did it. I went to community college first. When I transferred over to a major university, then I leveraged the University of Michigan to pay for my education while at the same time taking advantage of the benefit package and the double match that came along with their, well, it wasn't a 401k, it was a 403b. 403b is usually applicable to nonprofits and government agencies. Unless you are a part of the military, then it's a TSP. Am I doing too much? Y'all want to go back to getting entertained? Y'all want to talk about the stuff that's happening in the culture? Because we talk about everything over here just for the sake of conversation. Am I doing too much? If you work for a nonprofit, which could also include major universities, government entities, it's a 403b. All right. 403b is the same as a 401k, except for a 401k is for private entities, publicly traded companies, and companies that's not, along the nonprofit / government industry. TSPs are the same thing, except for it's for people that are a part of the military services, armed services, people that do that. Okay. So when I'm talking about this, apply it to whatever respective retirement plan that you guys have. Okay. When I say 401k, it also includes 403bs. It also includes TSPs, right? When I say a 401k, that's the very basic. Y'all should be looking to max out on that. But I want y'all to get to the point to where you can afford to do a 403b, because long term, we want your money to grow. We want your money to grow tax free. We don't want you taxed. Then we don't want them taxing you on the million. We want them to tax you on the 80 to 90 to the 100. Okay. We want that long-term money. Now, I know that they say, Anton, you only a C student. I know they say, Anton, you don't have a doctorate. You're not a part of academia. I bet you I can show you my portfolio and it's booming out this bitch. I bet you I can show you my receipts on Patreon of what my 1099s, my W-2s and all of that look like. I bet you I can show you my brokerage account and we can talk about academia right after that. If you are not a part of I'm doing a business live stream because I usually don't talk about this type of stuff. I don't even get into it this deep, right? This is surface level based off of compared to what we talk about in the Patreon. All right. We're doing a business live stream tomorrow on Patreon. So if y'all not a part of the Patreon, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. What they trying to prevent y'all from doing is getting to the money. The reason that they trying to prevent y'all from getting to the money is because if you start making too much money, you're going to start asking too many questions. When you start asking too many questions, then that means that you're making too much money. And if you're making too much money, then that means you're learning how to think for yourself. A lot of people may not like me. But you don't have to like me in order to get the information. A lot of people say that they don't like me. But you don't have to like me to get the information. I didn't ask you to fuck me. I just said do better for your family and do better for yourself so that you can change the narrative of the next generation. I didn't ask you to bust me down, right? We not bed buddies, nigga. I'm asking you to do what you're supposed to do for your chick, and so your kids won't be out here doing stuff that they're not supposed to do. I didn't ask you to be best friends, nigga. I said I'm gonna give you the information. Do with it what you will. Patreon is for everybody. We ain't got to be friends, but can we get this money together? No. Let's keep it 100. We can go on to the next subject. I'm about to read the super chats. We don't have to be friends. I didn't say that we was best buddies. I said, can we get this money together? What is it that I have to do to add value into your life? You feel me? That's how I look at politics. That's how I look at politics. It's like, I don't need Trump to be my best friend. I don't want him to make me feel good. I want him to implement the policies that allow for me to run up a bag and take care of my family. I don't need friends in politics. I don't need nobody to look like me. What am I, 12? I want people that look like me in these. Man, I want the motherfucking information. Give me some information so I can make my money, and y'all can go back to doing all of this kumbaya shit. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. See, Young Money, you inspired a whole financial rant from me. Appreciate you always giving game. Blessing, says the Kingpin. Brian the Filmmaker 216 says, make these people pay for this info. Too much game. Listen, man, I can't help it. Sometimes I want to give back. That's my way of giving back. I'll give you information. I'm teaching you how to fish. I'll teach you how to fish. I'm not going to give you anything, but I'll teach you how to fish. Occasionally, I break out into my Patreon bag, and then we'll do that. But usually I reserve this information for people that truly appreciate it. The real estate lunchbox, shout out to you for the 10 ball. I appreciate you. Young Money says, I get paid bi-weekly. I have 2 more paychecks for the year. When I said I maxed it out, it's not maxed out today, but in an eventual future. Oh, okay, that's dope. Well, at least you inspired me to give information to everybody else. 19 Dion 88 says, I'm a little confused for my company, Microsoft. I've maxed out as of September. My fidelity is reflecting that my company's match 50% or 23.5 has already been contributed to by Microsoft. What are you confused about? There's not. Okay, so listen. Y'all might have to just. I don't want to go into a whole nother rant. All right, I don't want to go into a whole nother rant. Dion, if you need additional help, email me, and I'll see if I can help you out. Otherwise, y'all need to just rewind and rewatch what I just talked about. Michelle says, AD out here creating corporate monsters. AD out here creating corporate monsters. I will never negotiate pay the same because of what I've learned here. Equity. Join the Patreon, y'all. Shout out to Michelle. Call me Mr. Bibb says, I can listen to you teach all day. Young Money says quarter zip gang. Shout out to the quarter zip gang. Agency headquarters says great information for the 401k. Armand says, good afternoon, AD. What do you think of Kendrick Perkins saying Shador Sanders is the most important black person since Obama in 2009? I think I'm the most important black person since Obama. I don't think Obama was that important. Thank God I was scared I was going to have to throw it back for a real one for this information, says Matty Place BC. Nah. I'm sharing this for free for y'all. So happy birthday, happy Thanksgiving. All right, y'all, let me see something. What did I talk about? I talked about Cam, trades versus college, 401k. I thought I had talked about something else too. Cam work 401k, Cam Newton. Did I only do 3 subjects? I thought I did more than 3. I thought I did 4. Trades versus college. Oh, yeah, I remember now. Okay. I remember now. All right, I got it. Yep, Apple Store. I remember. All right, cool. So, all right, y'all. Trades, flying private, New York Street Takeover. All right, I got so much stuff that I want to talk about. New Orleans I'm gonna have to save some of this for tomorrow. All right. New Orleans is in a budget deficit. That's what the new mayor said. So we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. Auto payments, Bobby Afoff bullying. Here, let's get into some dumb stuff. All right. Let's go over to SNAP eligibility. Let's go over to New York. I got to go to New York simply because that's the title of the show. New York Street Takeover. I got to at least. All right. So we'll talk about New York and then we'll go over David. New York and then we'll go over David right after that. All right. Or y'all want to talk about David first? Y'all want to talk about David first? All right. Let's go into David then. David, it is. See what we got here. Y'all really want to talk about this David thing, don't y'all? All right, let's start here.
Now to the major twist in the case involving a teenage girl's body found in the car belonging to the singer David. Sources telling us that David is now considered a suspect in the death of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. No arrest has been made, but we're told David is not cooperating. It comes 2 months after Rivas's body was found badly decomposed in a car registered to the singer-songwriter. Now sources tell us her body was in fact dismembered, though the medical examiner has still not determined a cause of death. We want to note that we reached out to David's team, but we haven't heard back. Let's bring in our Alex Stone. He's on the story for us. What more do we know about David being considered a suspect now?
Well, Kara, investigators tell us that they are focusing in now and tightening in on certain individuals involved, and that nobody in the group around David is being excluded as a suspect. I had one investigator telling me that it is a fact that there are certain people in the group around him who were involved, who are getting concerned now as the LAPD is getting closer. So we know the investigation, Kira, it is advancing. It's been ongoing for 2 months now. They say they have been working diligently through it, trying to put pieces together, but her body was dismembered. And that has played a role in how slowly this has gone, as the medical examiner is still trying to determine a cause of death. But they say that they're working toward it right now.
So what's the timeline on next steps? Will there be an arrest in the case immediately, you think?
Immediately, probably not. We are told that they are actively working it right now, that they are moving forward with it. but it may not be right away. It could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months. They're really having to wait on that cause of death to come in from the medical examiner. Without that, it's going to be hard to charge murder. But they do believe, there is a belief among sources inside the investigation that this was murder and that David played a role in it in some way, either the murder or the dismemberment of the body and or concealing the body as well. So it does look like it's going down that road. The investigators are telling us that they believe they're heading that way, but when, they don't yet know.
All right, so let me share something because I kept getting information saying that the body was frozen and all of this stuff. So I did a little bit of a deep dive in a little bit. And I dropped the link in the chat for anybody that got a comment on this. I'm going to give the people 2 minutes per call. 2 minutes per call for anybody that has an opinion on this whole David situation. But let me share this information with y'all. It says the body of Celeste Rivas Hernandez found dead in David's Tesla was not frozen or decapitated, says the cops. Okay. Goes on to say the body of a missing 14-year-old found in the truck of singer David Tesla in September was not frozen, nor was she decapitated, according to the police. As they look to debunk some of the rumors about the tragic teen's death, Celeste Rivas Hernandez remains were discovered in the car on September 8th, one day before her 15th birthday, and it was impounded in Hollywood Hills. Last week, it was reported that her remains were partially frozen and dismembered, leaving the LA County Medical Examiner struggling to determine her official cause of death, sources told TMZ. That's the David dude. That's the car. Goes on to say her body was not frozen. She was not decapitated. The whole frozen thing doesn't even make sense. Her body was in the car for weeks, says LAPD Captain and Commanding Officer Robbery Homicide Division Scott Williams told People. Even if she had been frozen solid when she was put in the car, which there was no evidence to suggest she was, 5 or more weeks in the trunk of a car in sweltering heat in the middle of the summer would not have resulted in a partially frozen body being discovered on September 8th. She was first reported missing from her home in Lake Elsinore, California on April 5th. Singer David, 20, whose real name David Anthony Burke, was on tour at the time of the discovery of the remains. All right. All right. So I want to get y'all thoughts. If anybody has a comment or a thought on this whole David situation, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to get your stuff off. Give me a second. I'm going to give y'all 2 minutes to get y'all stuff off. If y'all have a comment about this whole David situation, do you think that he should be locked up? Do you think that they should have named him as a suspect earlier rather than later? What are your thoughts on the whole situation? Christopher Evans, what are your thoughts on the whole situation with David?
You see me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I've actually been following the story a little bit in between you talking about it, and from what I know, they just recently said through TMZ that he was flying to an undisclosed location, and I vaguely remember them saying that it was around that time. I think it was this spring. I think they said the girl was with her. I can't remember for sure, but he did fly out to this place before he went on tour. My 2 cents is, I think they were having an inappropriate relationship, probably hanging out. They were probably doing some substances that they shouldn't have been doing. She potentially have overdosed on it because they've talked about her having a rebellious history, and I think they've also talked about her being on lives or being in videos on TikTok of being inebriated. And I think they even mentioned that during the video when she was arguing with her family, she was possibly intoxicated. So she was probably doing drugs with David. One thing leads to another. She OD, dies. David freaks out. So now with this underage girl that's dead, he was messing with, he grown, he got a tour coming up. So now he's looking at some people he can trust, like, hey, bro, I gotta do something about this. So now he got a friend to help chop up the body. Friend like, hey bro, go on your little tour. I got this. And I feel like he got finessed. Whoever helped him do it, I think they took his money. He didn't pay him half and then half when it was done. He paid him all the money. They chopped the body up for him and they left the car out there on purpose. On purpose.
That's, you know what? I think that I'm not necessarily saying that you were off on that. Everything that you said actually makes sense. Are you involved? No, I'm just messing with you. All right, Chris.
I'm halfway across the country. It ain't me.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, you too.
Eric, what up, Eric? What are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Bro, that happened super close to my hometown, like actually where I was living at.
Really?
Yeah, and the sad part is I was waiting at the bus stop like I am now. And her missing thing was on the bus stop. I didn't think nothing of it. I
Oh, the
was trying to get
Celeste thing was on the bus stop.
was on the bus stop, like, oh, missing, yada, 14, yada yada. It's like the same picture that they keep showing. The one with the hoodie and stuff. And then recently they start talking about the Dave and she happened in Lake Elsinore, and I'm like, damn, I used to go fishing with my grandmas at their lake and shit. And I'm like, damn. And then I see the picture of the person, I'm like, damn, I saw that one in poster, and I'm just like, well, this is small ass world, bruh.
I agree. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you. I don't think that any of this is beyond what he said. Honestly, that makes the most sense to me. With this whole David situation, what he said makes the most sense to me. I will say this. At first, I was of the impression like, listen, they need to hurry up and arrest him and charge him and so on and so forth. But now I understand why they're choosing not to arrest him, but they've only named him as a suspect because they can't probably even prove that it was him or that he killed her, right? The best that they could probably do at this point is charge him with something as far as like, missing, not reporting a missing person, dealing with an underage chick, something like that. I think that my main outrage was really towards the parents, because the parents were the ones, in my opinion, that should have been responsible for the fact that she was talking to this David guy, and they didn't know that, they didn't know anything about him supposedly, or he was rolling with her, or all of this other stuff. They said that they didn't know who he was. I don't believe none of that. But I also am starting to question whether or not he should be the person that is charged with her murder. If they had something on him, they would have already charged him. If they had something on him, because we don't know what we don't know. And this is one of the reasons. Listen, let me look at this objectively. All right. Let me look at this objectively. This is why I say to people, shut up when something happens. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you, and listen, I want every murderer and everybody that get caught that did something illegally, but I'm just having a conversation objectively. When you don't say anything, you basically put the police and investigators at the biggest disadvantage ever. The way that most people get caught is that they say too much or they talk to somebody that's been involved and then they get exposed. You said the body was found in his car, but it was found in his car while he was on tour. How do we know who had access to his vehicles? Listen, there's a difference between negligence, something like that, whatever charge that they can throw on you, and a murder and a homicide. being a suspect does not mean that you are the person that committed the crime. Now, I'm not saying that he's innocent. And do I believe he has something involved with it? That is my opinion, but my opinion does not make it true and it does not make it a fact. Should he have been talking to a younger girl? Absolutely not. But like my man said, how do we know that she didn't OD? How do we know that she didn't take a drug and she OD'd, but he didn't want to be tied to it, so that he panicked, or he said he told somebody else to deal with the body or something like that? We don't know. Somebody said the Tesla cameras. If they had the cameras, then they would already have said something. Matt, let me get your thoughts on this whole situation, big dog. Matt, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Let me get your thoughts on this.
Hey, look, I heard that David had fled to a northern part of California. What's the name of the place? I just did it in one of my last Facebook posts. He had went and mysteriously vanished for a little bit. The strange part about that is in Northern California, the place where he's at, they're known for a lot of witchcraft. And I think that slowed down a lot of this case too, because when witches get involved, they can persuade a lot of people. And I remember you did a show last year about one of the councilmen had left somewhere over there in Crystal Lakes, Crystal Springs or something, because there was a lot of demonic activity going on now. That's all I got to say about it. I don't want to get no more into it because I don't want nobody looking at me turning me into a frog or a piece of wood or nothing. I ain't got time for that, dog. I really don't.
Do you think that these demonic activities ultimately lead to an altered mind state that would, warrant this type of situation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's been a lot of demonic possession in the world lately. It's like when one go, seven more come back. You know what I'm saying? And it's
You
like
think
it's
that
their
demons
reward.
played a role in this situation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't doubt it for 1 minute, because stuffing somebody in the trunk, just even moving the body is something about you and you that don't feel right about moving that body. You gotta be possessed with something that's not holy in order to just move a body and stuff it in the trunk. No matter even if you with some demonic people or not, they got somebody gonna step up and say something. Hey, look, man, I don't think we should be doing this. Hey, look, man, her head don't look right over here. Put it over there. It's somebody around had to say something, man. If they was of God, then that person, they would have said something, man. Somebody finna come out with something, but they're being silenced. They're being
Thank you, Matt.
manipulated.
I appreciate you, Matt. Thanks for
Dog,
holding me
what's
down,
up?
big dog. All right. So that is the latest update in the whole David conversation. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with any notifications. We got to hit over to New York really quickly. All right. We got to hit New York, talk about what's happening in the New York situation. I'm going to read the super chat shortly. Let me see what's happening in New York. We got so much that we can go over. I feel like I need to do longer streams, bro.
Over the weekend, a mob of people taking over the streets by driving wildly, and things only escalated from there when they set a car on fire and physically attacked homeowners who tried to intervene. Here is more from that scene and a warning. This footage may be disturbing for some viewers.
Yo, chill.
And as that violent unrest carried on, residents were apparently told to call a quality of life team and not the NYPD.
This is what I'm saying, bro. I said this a long time ago, and I'm going to say it again. The people that were doing this street takeover, they were told to call the quality of life team and not the NYPD. This is the danger of having these socialists and these liberals take over office in New York City because they're trying to get the police to All right, we back yet? We good yet? All right, we good. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of a hiccup. But they're trying to replace the police. When they said defund the police, what they really meant was we're going to remove having to pay for police, and we're going to start money laundering and putting up our resources to force people to have to defend themselves, and then to make sure that the quality of life teams are the ones that then respond to these violent criminals that are taking over these neighborhoods and taking over these resources, and they stomp you out in front of your own neighborhood. And now that is what we've come to. We've come to the point where you're getting stomped out in your neighborhood. And when you call the police, now remember, New York is one of the places where you pay some of the most egregious taxes in the United States of America. New York is a place where you pay some of the most egregious taxes in the United States of America. Imagine paying the highest tax rate in the country. And when you call the police, they say, all right, so listen, let me give you a phone number. And you say, well, what's the phone number for? And they say, well, that's because I want you to call the quality of life team. What do you mean the quality of life team? And I'm calling you. I'm calling 911. I just got stumped out. What you talking about?
Leading to some major questions over what is to come once the next mayor takes office. Joining me now to discuss is former New York City Republican Councilman Joe Borelli. Joe, it's good to see you. So this all happened at 2:30 a.m. on Sunday, and some of the residents who tried to intervene were beat up, one so badly that this mob broke his rib and nose and even punched his wife. Who are these people, and why is this?
Let me tell you something, bro. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. You can get at me. We can go back and forth. We can do all of this. You punching my wife, you die. Listen, I'm not stuttering. I'm telling you the truth. You can holler at me. We can go back and forth. Me and you gonna get into a scrap, all of this stuff. You punch my wife, you die. You die where you stand. You die where you stand, bro. And it's another reason why I remember when we was talking about the Mississippi brawls and all of that stuff, and y'all was saying, no, man, my chick better come out and help me. I don't want you to die. We can live to fight another day. We can go back and forth. We can call the police. We can do all of that stuff. Nigga, if you lay a hand on my daughter, if you lay a hand on my chick, you die where you lay. Even if you do it and you get away with it, you still gonna die. Let me not say that. If you touch my chick, and this is why I say women need to, and I said differently. I know a lot of people disagreed with me and all of that. I said differently. I said, listen, women need to stay out of the mix. I don't need your help. I don't want none of that stuff. If you lay a hand, you punch my chick, you are going to die. I don't give a fuck about nothing at that point. All of this internet shit, that's for the internet. There is never, ever, ever going to be a person that lays a hand on my chick and get away with it. There is never going to be a person that lay a hand on my chick and get away with it. Under no circumstances. Under zero circumstances. I believe in that movie Law Abiding Citizen. I believe in the movie of Law Abiding Citizen. Everybody got to go. Everybody got to go. Ain't no negotiating. I don't want to talk about it. Shoot first, ask questions later. You better not do that. I believe that is defending your property. My chick is my property. My girl is my property. I'm defending my property. I own her. That's my chick. It's because y'all ain't had no get right. Everybody ain't had no get right. Everybody feel compelled. They want to jump on everybody. They want to keep on putting your hands on people. You doing burnouts and all of that. And then they're gonna be talking about, no, he was a good guy, he was a good man. Nobody should have ever done anything to him. No, my God, no, bro. What are you doing? First of all, y'all shouldn't be out here. Secondly, you're on my property. Third, you decided to put your hands on my chick. Now, your mama got to come and pick you up from the morgue. From the morgue. This is why I can't live in a place like New York. Gun laws is too strict. New York, Los Angeles, and all of that stuff. People be getting robbed. They be running in people's houses and stuff, following them home. And you supposed to tase them? Man, they just stomped him out. Got a broken rib, broken nose, beat the fuck out of his chick. Then he's supposed to just take that stuff. Now I wonder what Mom Donnie got for that. What is Zoran Mom Donnie? What is he gonna do about that? What is he gonna do about? Because listen, the more liberal we become, the more lawless people are, and they can run. They feel like then the criminals are the only ones that can really do anything with any guns. Crazy. They was out there stomping on my man. Crazy, bro.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that even people who try to correct this behavior end up worse in this situation. But this is sort of a new trend. We're seeing this happen on TikTok and Instagram and social media, where people sort of take over a street and do all sorts of dangerous car tricks just to get attention. Unfortunately, this incident escalated beyond that when this neighbor came out and said, "Hey, maybe you don't want to cause a ruckus in front of my house at 2:30 in the morning." But this is sort of the lawlessness that we could expect to see when police departments are defunded, when recruitment is down, when the number of overall officers decreases, because their work calls to the police department that night. And unfortunately, the precinct that covers this area simply did not have enough officers to respond. They were responding to what they thought was more pressing incidents nearby, and it took an extra time for it to be addressed as what it was, which was an assault on a neighbor.
Yeah, here's the quote from Vicky Palladino, who represents this area. She said on X, response to this incident was less than ideal. Residents reporting the incident to 911 were told that quality of life teams and 911 should handle the situation. Unacceptable. In fact, these...
Let me look this up. Imagine you call a 911 and they tell you to call 311. Quality of life teams are specialized NYPD unit. Oh, no. Y'all still not going to sell me on that. Y'all not going to sell me on this. New York's quality of life teams are specialized NYPD units. All this means, let me tell you something what this means. Because y'all keep trying to sell me, no, it's still a special division in NYPD. It's not, bro. It's not. These are people that are hired under the budget of the NYPD that are not real police officers. These are not real police officers. These are people that are taking advantage of the NYPD budget, and all this is a way for them to defund the police, and they're moving money over to social workers. So now they're saying their quality of life issues like illegal vending, noise complaints, and illegal e-bikes. This is crazy, bro. This is insane. Called quality of life after your chick just got beat the fuck up and you got a broken rib and you got beat up. Nah, dog. Nope. I'm not going for it. You're not selling me on it. You're never going to try to sell me on this idea. Nope.
Violent street takeover
I
should
want
be
real
met with
street
maximum
police in the
force
streets.
by the police department. The police later apologized and said that they thought that this was a
Like
drag
you
racing
too,
incident,
H.
and they
Fisher.
didn't have enough police officers at the time to handle this situation. That raises a lot of
How do
questions.
you not have enough police officers in New York? Watch what happened in New York.
Because the police commissioner right now, Jessica Tisch, says she wants to increase the number of police officers on the force. The incoming mayor says the numbers we have right now are fine. So what do you think about this debate?
But he's wrong. I mean, he's 100% wrong. We had 2,500 officers resign in 2025 or retire in 2025. Mayor Adams announced the department would budget for 5,000 additional officers to make up for multiple years of shortfall. That is the right approach. Mayor Adams should reconsider, and to talk about having some quality of life team address this is ridiculous. These kids don't need a guidance counselor or midnight basketball. They need to be punished. They need to be punished immediately. There needs to be police on the scene. Unfortunately, this incident is one where if police were here earlier when this 911 call first came through, it would not have resulted in an assault. It would have been just a case of perhaps some teenagers misbehaving. Maybe some summonses would have been issued. But because the police didn't respond, it escalated into an assault on a neighbor.
Yeah, it's a great point. And it's called a quality of life team now, which I don't think many New Yorkers even knew existed. But Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani also wants to create this department of community safety where social workers respond to some crimes, shifting responsibility away from the police department. So could we see more of this type of response? And is this the right plan to keep New Yorkers safe?
Yeah, look, Carly, we certainly fail on the second responders, the people who come after the police, the children's services, the domestic violence counselors. We're not doing a good job following up after those incidents. That's 100% accurate. Mayor Mamdani is right to focus on that. The problem is he wants those people to be the first responders. We know domestic violence incidents are some of the most dangerous incidents police officers respond to, and we would never want to jeopardize their safety, the jeopardy of the victim, and even the safety of the attacker in some cases, by having a community safety officer respond. We should have.
I'll be damned if I call the police and they tell me to call 311. I'll be damned if I'm paying the highest taxes in the United States of America and they tell me to call 311. I'll be damned if my wife just got beat the hell up and then they telling me to call 311. Now you putting somebody else's life in jeopardy because I got to handle this shit myself. AD, a biological male wins the world's strongest woman event in Arlington, Texas. Yeah, we hit, y'all. It's hit. It's messed up. Everything is going to hell, and it's over. Let me read a couple of super chats, and I'm going to get y'all out because we got after hours tonight. Young Money says your company's contribution does not affect your max, the max of your 401k. Oh, I don't know if y'all was listening. Was y'all listening? It's not your company's contribution affecting your max. It's when you max out affecting the amount that you get in your company's contribution. It's not it affecting how much you can max out in. It's you leaving free money on the table based off of when you max out. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Listen, if your company didn't make any contribution whatsoever, you could still max out. If your company did not make any contribution whatsoever, you could still max out. The problem is if you max out too early, you miss out on some of your company's contributions. I'm going to let y'all think about that for a minute. Hi, AD, my new favorite show. What up, though? Yo, it's Eric TV. What up, big dog? Fatir Wood says, caught alive. One and just wanted to say thanks for the info as usual. Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed the show today. I hope that y'all are enjoying what it is that we do. Max out means the maximum amount you can commit based off of what the federal government and the IRS is saying. So I think you can max out this year at $23,500. That's how much you can contribute to your 401k or your Roth 401k. All right. I love y'all too. All right. I love y'all too. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all tonight. Peace.